All right, CR and Van are here. How do you keep a horror movie franchise going after you've murdered the protagonist of the movie? This was a question of the 80s. There's money at stake. We fucked up. We shouldn't have ended that last movie that way. What do we do? And in the 80s and the early 90s, the answer was, fuck it. Maybe they won't remember what we did. Let's bring it back. And that's Halloween 4.
We had a much different relationship to franchises. We had a lot fewer questions back then.
Really no questions. We had no internet. We had no podcasts. We had no real analysis. We didn't hold things against people. We weren't rewatching stuff a million times. Somehow he lived. Van, he was stabbed in the eye with a wire hanger. He was shot 11 times. He was shot in both eyes at the end of Halloween 2. Both eyes. Mm-hmm. Done. Blind. Just flailing around.
Blown up.
Burned to death. Burned to death. Saw it. Saw the mask burning. Then went in a 10-year coma, even though he's already dead. Kept all of his muscle and his eyesight, much like Steven Seagal in, I think it was Above the Law.
I thought you were going to say much like
hard
me.
To kill. Hard to kill.
Hard to kill.
In a coma, but it was immediately ready
but
to
Hard to kill, he had a lot of acupuncture, though.
Kelly LeBrock brings him back to life.
Yeah. He still knows how to drive, even though he never learned because he'd been locked up since age 6. He still knows how to get everywhere with no map and no navigation system. Right. And still knows how to turn off electricity, phones, and power lines.
Yeah.
He's back, baby.
So with a lot of these guys, they started as slashers and then they turned supernatural.
Yeah.
But they always give you an explanation as to why they turned supernatural. It always is. In Halloween, they never do. I was asking CR about this.
They get into it in 6.
In 6.
Well, the 4, 5, 6 are called the Thorn Trilogy, where they try to come up with this supernatural
mythology behind Michael.
Around Myers. And let's just say it did not work.
I mean, you watch him and he's got the instincts, right? Like I'm looking at him and he actually should have like played football.
Like Drake May.
Yeah, he's got the instincts.
It's like, look at him scramble. Look at Myers. Right. Look at him navigate the roof. This guy has it all.
He steps up in the pocket. He steps up in the house. He steps up behind something. He's behind somewhere.
Thumb through the forehead.
Yeah. He knows exactly the way to kill. You give him something, he turns it into a kill. He stabs it through you blunt.
Give him any object.
Yeah, if he's at a garage, he's going to use the tools he's got in.
Shotgun? What do I do with this? I have an idea.
Take you, throw you into the electricity, and you end up burnt up in the whole 9.
I think you bring up a really good point, though, which is that this franchise in particular, but you could make the argument for a bunch of the things that came out in 1988, which was a banner year for late period horror franchises.
And shameless sequels.
Yeah, we had Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. We had Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. We also had Halloween 4, obviously, and then they kicked off Child's Play and Hellraiser 2 happened that year. So it was a lot of the big banner horror movies. We run our franchises so much differently now, like where it's just this meticulous Easter egging and connections and everything's building up to this. And Halloween's the one that I kind of wish we could have had a do-over on.
I couldn't agree more.
Even though I love so many of these movies and even have a huge soft spot for 3.
Yeah.
If they had been like, how do we want to roll this out over the years? I think it would just be like unquestionably the heavyweight champ of all time horror franchises.
You know what happened? Friday the 13th, what'd you say? It was the 7th one in 1988?
It was New Blood.
So the first one was 1980. So think about that. They're basically making one a year.
Mm-hmm.
And in each one, the guy dies, but then somehow comes back. And probably the Halloween producers at some point were like, what are we doing? There's money out there. Let's bring Myers back. Well, we can't. He burned to death and got shot in both eyes. And they're like,
You know what we've
lost? They just did it.
You know what we've lost in the movies now? We don't have the desire now to necessarily kill the demon at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
The horror movies now seem to be more about how the people that are in the horror movies escape their torment.
Yes.
Rather than how they thwart the demon thing at the end.
Yes.
Because even like Scream, right? It's almost as if Ghostface is a totem, a mantle that different people will pick up when they need to it lives forever.
Yeah.
But whereas Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, these are dudes.
They pretty much in Scream did the thing that as an amateur like internet sleuth of unproduced Halloween screenplays and summaries of those screenplays, Scream pretty much does what a couple of the Halloween movies that didn't get made by Carpenter and others suggested, which was that it's not Michael Myers who just keeps getting up out of the mine shaft or out of the explosion. It's this evil that like will infect different people in different ways. And sometimes they can wear the mask or sometimes they can just...
Which I think is what they try to do at the end of this movie, because she has a moment with Myers.
It's one of the best moments of the franchise. And they just like basically skip it, or not skip it, but they rewrite it in 5.
Because that's a big swing.
Oh my God.
Like the kid's a gigantic swing. Most useless person in any horror franchise ever. Loomis. Just ridiculously useless.
Are we doing this now?
Oh God, I hate him.
Come on.
Always hate him. Always
Does
hate him.
Loomis replace Vincent Chase?
Like,
wow.
One of the most, a dude who essentially exists just to warn people and not really do shit about it.
Yeah.
You've never seen anything like this. You're going to help us out? I will be getting a donut.
Like
Like
he's kind of like the Myers hype man. He's like Bundini Brown for Myers. This guy's a killing machine. You don't understand what he is.
I think a lot of that is like,
stop him,
what can Donald Pleasence feasibly do? You know what I mean? He can walk into rooms and be like, Michael Myers is back.
Yeah.
But like they can't have him do like kung fu against Michael Myers.
I get it, but shouldn't he be testifying before the Senate?
We got to hold on, because like I have so many questions about where Dr. Loomis's jurisdiction begins and ends.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing with Loomis, it's autopilot. I'm getting paid in cash, Dr. Loomis, in this one, where every line that he's ripping off, it just feels like he's just like, all right, fine. We're not talking about a normal prisoner, Hoffman. We're talking about evil on 2 legs. He's a man. He's evil. But just say he's not even, his heart's not even in it anymore. Like, you think when we did the Halloween pod originally a couple of years ago, we talked about like, he had these brilliant monologues in it. And he just these ways of spinning stuff. And he was like, I looked in his eyes, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. And we're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Myers now and then he's just
evil on 2 legs. I want to ask why you like this one, because I have my reasons, but I'm curious because I think this is you talked about it on Guess the Lines as like a comedy almost, and there are some funny parts of it. But I think this is a really effective.
I think it's got some really scary scenes. It's on cable a lot. It almost, other than Halloween 1, was probably the most rerun movie. I'm sure it's not going to be on AMC and all these other ones over the next couple of days. Super easy watch. It doesn't really have any dead spots. It's ridiculous, but not like completely over the top ridiculous. I really like how charismatic Myers is in this. I wrote down some things I enjoyed. How he climbs and walks the roof Undertaker style, like when the Undertaker used to walk on the top rope. He drives a truck from the gas station. He's like, fuck it. Maybe in the mental hospital, I don't know, maybe they learned how to like do stick shift.
Yeah, he learned how to release the clutch.
I like when he kills the guy, and then he gets in the recliner, pretends he's the guy. This little subterfuge before his murder. He's gone to the next level. I like when he tosses the furniture out of the way when he's in the attic. He's just like throwing boxes. And the pickup truck move, when he hides under the pickup truck, pulls up, climbs on the
all
side,
those guys out.
does the windshield. Like, it's some really good athletic Myers stuff.
So I'm saying I got him.
I think he did well in the combine this year.
He's the Aaron Donald of slashers.
Right.
He can throw. He can explode. He can beat the double team mentally. The Aaron Donald of slashers. First of all, I care about this one because this is the first one that I ever saw. This is the first Halloween movie I ever saw. And to me, this one is a very pure representation of who Myers is. He's just a force. He wants to kill this little girl. You don't even really need to know the reason why he needs to kill. He just is.
Yeah.
He just is, and he will not be stopped. And everybody else just kind of gets caught in the way of his vendetta against this one person for one reason, and it's going to have a high body count.
The other thing, Chris, is I like, the big theme of this is this kid comes from Haddonfield, he kills his sister, it becomes this legendary story in the town. And then he comes back in 1978 and kills a bunch of babysitters, a bunch of people. Now it's like he's like basically Aaron Rodgers against the Bears in the 2000s, 2010s.
Kind of foul to do that without Sean here, but yeah.
Yeah, like it's like he owns Haddonfield. Yeah. And even when they have Halloween every year, he's still his shadow's kind of lurking.
Yes.
So as soon as it's like clear that he might come back, you have this vigilante mob who's just getting drunk at some bar and they're like, oh, boom, and they're fucking out in their trucks with guns. Like, I like the idea of somebody tormenting a town like that.
Yeah, and I also think that they do a really good job in this movie in a subtle way. And this movie's not so subtle in some other ways, but the idea that like Haddonfield is the real star of this franchise, and that like when this town starts to forget,
even though it's filmed in Salt Lake City
yes,
this time.
Haddonfield, quote unquote. But
just leaves dumped on the street. Why couldn't they go back to the original place? What the fuck?
I don't know. Tax credits. The idea that basically like as soon as this town forgets, like even with the Sasha Jensen character Brady,
yeah,
and she's like, you remember Michael Myers? And he's like, who's that? Like, it's 10 years ago. He would have been like, 7 years old, but he's like grown up in a world where that's like kind of an urban legend. I love the idea that they keep going back to this and that like the town is somehow culpable of it. And it happens in multiple movies where a girl will be running up the streets like screaming help, help, and nobody comes out of their houses. Like there is some like, it's the town's fault.
I'm telling you, he's here. He's in this town. I like what you said there about the missed opportunities. You said it like 3-4 minutes ago about like, if we could just go back in time and redo this franchise correctly, I feel like it's unassailably the best one.
Yeah.
Even like if they even fucked up with this, like they probably should have created a new Myers heading into 4. They're like, fuck it, let's bring him back.
It's worth.
But the little girl, like I feel like that for Halloween 5 with the little girl, like they could have just gone that direction with what maybe she becomes Michelle Myers.
And there has been basically like there was a script or at least a pitch of Jamie is now the evil, and it's like, how are we going to extract the evil from Jamie, or is this like a disease that she has? And like there's Jamie the killer ideas floating out there. I think what you basically get is the first two. So obviously Carpenter does the first one. It's this iconic, never to be repeated masterpiece.
Yeah.
Then you have 2, which is made by a Carpenter disciple, and very much like Carpenter is involved in that movie. And
Dan likes that one because it's just a lot of nudity in that one.
Going crazy. But I also like it. He essentially, that's like an extension of John Carpenter, right? He taps that guy to do it.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do it. He has some other things. The mythology behind the series, to me, is as interesting as the movies themselves.
Yes. And then so 3 happens.
Which I had never seen it ever. Well, I watched it this weekend when I was watching this one, and I kind of like what they did.
And for me, 50%.
You like 3?
I liked it. First of all, I love like those types of horror films. I've talked about them a lot, but like, I like the fact that they tried to get away from it. They tried to do something.
They tried to do something different, and they tried to come up with an idea of like, what if Halloween could be essentially an umbrella that we could throw all these like horror ideas under?
Right.
And for me, 51% of why I like these movies is Michael and like the Strode family drama and all that stuff. But 49% of it is vibes. That's why I hate 5, is because it feels the least vibey consistently.
I do like seeing them float down the river at the beginning, but after that.
But that almost feels like footage from 4 that they used. You know what I mean? Like 5 is like more or less like, it looks like they shot it in Fresno. It just doesn't have any like Halloween feel. Like the town doesn't feel like Haddonfield. But this one actually, like especially the opening credit sequence in 4,
really
is just
good.
like super Halloween atmosphere.
You made this point in the Halloween pod we did that it's one of like how many movies that you have to watch at a specific time every year.
Oh, it's incredible.
Like we talked about it extensively about like I've watched Halloween every year. I've started making my kids watch it when they were 5. We went to the Halloween houses.
5.
Oh yeah, I would just the 2 scenes that you can't watch, we would just skip over those.
My wife and I watch horror movies together. I told her I was doing 4. She was like, I love 4. She was a kid when she saw them. So Danielle Harris was like, she was closer to Danielle Harris's age than she was Jamie Lee Curtis's or whatever. So she has like this soft spot, especially for 4. But we were watching 4, and as soon as it comes on, and it's like the ghost hanging from the tree, the pumpkins, the weird fields, the leaves blowing. She's like, I feel like so Halloweened out right now. Like I'm so in the zone, and this movie immediately put me there.
It's perfect
because it's the
We're
soundtrack
saying, like,
and the
there's
imagery.
a couple Christmas movies, right? Like Christmas Vacation,
Home Alone.
Some people have Die Hard, even though it's not a Christmas movie. Home Alone,
34th Street. I mean, I'm old, so It's a Wonderful Life. I still will watch and all of that stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's not that many. It's this time of year. We always said Jaws at the beginning of the summer. It felt like right around July.
Yeah.
It's time to watch. What was the mayor's name?
Brody. No, not Brody. It's
we compared in the first pod we did. We compared the mayor.
Mayor Vaughn.
Yeah, Mayor Vaughn. We compared Mayor Vaughn to the sheriff in Halloween 1. Because Loomis is just like look, this guy, he's got the blackest eyes ever. He's Satan. He's evil. He's coming to kill everybody. And the guy's like, more fancy talk. He's just like not listening to him at all. Doesn't put the word out.
I like
and this
the,
one, they're a
the
little more
sheriff
afraid.
in this one is just like, oh shit.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
A man of action.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this movie because, and I've always felt this way, you can watch this movie in like however way you want to. Like I can watch this movie as a comedy. And me and my brother, we used to.
Every Loomis scene is hilarious.
Every Loomis scene
And
is hilarious.
every Kelly Meeker scene is incredible.
And oftentimes when Michael Myers pops up, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's like when Michael Myers, like they're running around and I'm like, oh my God. Mike has no emotion.
Yeah.
Mike is just like, I'm back, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he just, and when he pops up sometimes and it's so funny. They're so helpless
Yeah.
and they're so scared. He's showing no emotion. There's nothing that they can do. When old boy from Dazed and Confused is trying to load the
Brady,
gun.
yeah.
When Brady's trying to load the gun, I'm dying laughing.
It's so
I'm
funny.
like, Brady, you're fucked, bro.
Yeah.
like Brady, run.
Just give him your head so he can,
Yeah,
he
like,
can twist it.
Brady, you need to run. Like, you're fucked if you stay here. And Brady ends up.
That scene is that kill is so funny because you're like, oh, he's going over the railing. He's definitely going over the railing. He's going to throw him over the railing. He's like, nope, he's just going to crunch his skull.
Yeah. I always felt like there was a copycat thing they could have done.
Yeah.
Where Myers dies, but somebody became obsessed with the murders.
That's what
and
Scream
decided
does.
to become the new
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Myers.
That's
right.
what Scream does.
That's kind of what Halloween 4, 5, 6
You know what they
should
get?
have been
They
to
get
me.
caught in between because essentially what you could do is you could have just made Halloween over and over again. And honestly, I would go, and the producer of this movie, Mustafa Akkad, like I think is obviously like probably given the amount of scripts that get thrown out, a difficult person to work for. But on the other hand, is like, this is what Halloween is, and this is what Halloween movies should be, and this is why people keep coming back to them. And the reason is that like you have a guy terrorizing a babysitter, and it's like essentially they create that. They have a new Halloween setup in this movie, but they also are getting pulled to like, I think Loomis is the thing that it's like he's the one who remembers all of the movies. So every time you have Loomis in there, he's like, he's back.
Yeah.
His eyes, like
shot him 8 times.
But it's almost like you could just keep making Friday the 13th over and over again. And it's like another group of kids go to Camp Crystal Lake and have no idea what they're getting into.
Well, but also they're in, which is interesting at this time, they're in a franchise war as well. They're in a franchise war.
Which is why we had this movie.
Against Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
They're in a franchise war. They got young upstarts. Hellraiser is coming along. Later on, the Leprechaun's going to come in. They're in a franchise race against these big, huge horror movies. And the mythology of the one dude is like super important to all of those guys. You know what I mean?
So you were a Myers guy.
Sure.
Over Jason?
Yes.
Over Freddy?
Yes. The only competition for me is Leatherface.
How about you?
Krueger. Krueger to me was the funniest. He was the most terrifying. Like I was telling Chris outside the Freddy scene where he's telling the people that they can't kill him.
Yeah.
And he cuts all of his fingers off. So I've been stabbed, shot, blah, blah, and I just keep coming back. He just was the man. He was the most charismatic out of all of them, but he was also the most verbose. The other guys didn't really talk.
Myers checked the most boxes. He didn't talk though. Super horny always. Dating back to Halloween 1.
Jason
I think it
doesn't
really
talk.
starts when he was like 6 and the premature ejaculator came over to hook up with his sister. And that really launched him into complete chaos. You mentioned the guy from Dazed and Confused, Sasha Jensen, who played Don Dawson. It's hilarious that he's in this movie.
It's like this. There's Paul Rudd is in 6.
Yeah, some of the cameos are
Depp
great.
is in Nightmare 2.
No, Depp's in Nightmare.
No, I know. I'm
Nightmare
saying
one.
like when you watch these movies and someone like legitimately
A
either
legitimate
big or
person.
like was in a much better film.
Kevin Bacon,
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're
Josh
just like,
Hartnett.
I can't believe this is happening.
So this movie, when it came out, I remember my buddy Jeff, who was, best man at my wedding, and we loved the Halloween movies, and we thought these were done. And then I was in college, he was in college. All of a sudden, the trailer came out. We were like, oh my God.
it's gonna go bad.
So we saw it same day and then had a call after. We were like a little disappointed. It was good, but we were like, why didn't they do this?
What do
Why
you
didn't
think
they
you
do that?
didn't like about it? Was it was it the
I
Jamie
think our
story?
hopes were just too
Okay.
high. But then
it had been some time since you had seen Michael Myers in a while.
Yeah, it had been since 81, right? So 7 years, and we really had high expectations. The trailer was better than the movie. And we were really disappointed in Loomis, who it was a little bit of a mail-in job by Pleasence. But then as the years passed, it really grew on me. And I think if you're going to do the lineage correctly, you probably go 1, 2, H2O, the 2018 one. You're probably good with those 4, but I still defend Halloween 4.
Yeah, I go 1, 2, 4. Not in my ranking, but just like if you wanted to watch them,
how it should go.
And 1, 2, 4, and then maybe H2O, and then you should definitely watch 3 because it's just such a cool idea. I think
the problem with 4 is they kill off Laurie Strode, and they don't explain it. So she was 18 in Halloween 1, 21 in Halloween 2, and somehow had a kid like right after that. But then they make it seem like she died. So
yeah, car crash, right?
Is that what they said it was?
I think so.
Childbirth, death, drugs, parachute didn't open, possibility.
Yeah.
DUI, I don't know. But I don't know how 4 can relate to H2O if she's dead in 4.
Any of those things.
I think in H2O she said like it's like she faked her death and like got a new identity.
Any of those
But I don't know what happens with Jamie.
I could blame Myers for. I could blame Myers for getting her liquored up.
Yeah.
I could blame Myers for...
You're doing the Freddy thing again.
Yeah. Any of those things, Myers could all be behind it. H2O was my favorite for a long time because I was in high school and was it Cool Rappers were in it? It was Busta Rhymes.
That's the one that's like the Big Brother house. You're thinking of LL Cool J and H2O.
H2O, yeah. So like...
which is right in that teen movie era of Scream, and I know he did last summer, H2O.
And then she's back.
She's back in Michelle Williams, isn't it?
Michelle Williams. So it's like
that's another great actor in a Halloween
And there's
franchise.
there's a couple of really great kills in H2O.
H2O is good.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like H2O. Anyway, there's belated respect for this movie, and I think people now seem to feel like this is probably the best slasher movie of the mid-late 80s.
Do you know what watching this movie basically does? Is it's the closest I get to like the feeling I had when I would sneak into horror movies when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Where like I didn't have very high expectations. I kind of wanted to see some sex and violence and cheap thrills. And then you go and you sit down and you watch this and you just start laughing the second it's like only 2 people are picking up Michael Myers at the asylum. You know, it's just like, we're in for it, man. Like not a SWAT team, not a prison convoy. This guy's responsible for 20 kills.
Also, I had this for nitpicks later. Like, why was he being transferred? They're like, he's got to transfer federal
Hoffman
prison.
talks about that. We get to it. But I just,
didn't make
second
sense.
it starts, you're like,
leave him in the fucking wherever he is now, where he's not.
But it's
out.
a dark and stormy night at a mental institution, and I'm like, this is great. This is such a great B movie experience.
Also, this passes the Craig Horlbeck test. It's like 90 minutes. Might even be less.
88, I think.
88. Yeah, it just cruises through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he gets it done. There's no extra scenes. So the Thorn trilogy.
Craig, did your dad have a Cops Do It by the Book T-shirt?
If he didn't, I would be very upset.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that.
Did you fill it out as well as the lady in this movie?
I don't think so.
The Thorn trilogy was basically that Michael was a victim of the Curse of Thorn, which is shown in Halloween 5.
There's a guy who shows up intermittently in 5, a man in black who has a wrist tattoo that's like an old rune. And it's the Thorn cult.
It's this cult that basically said if this person doesn't destroy his whole family, then all of us are going to die. So we need this person to just keep executing everybody he's
the whole cult
to.
dies.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was really stupid. People didn't like it. And by the time we got to H2O, we were like, let's start over. We fucked this up. $5 million budget, made $17.8 million. Roger Ebert, no review.
Yeah.
Didn't touch this.
Like
not on his TV
like
show.
Protest, no review, or
I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I checked out ChatGPT, and they told me that Roger Ebert was notably critical of Halloween 4.
Yeah,
and that in his review he called it a cynical retread of the original movie. And
Bill, don't do this, man.
No,
this is a bad trend.
Such a cursed category.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a review. It's just not online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somehow ChatGPT knew the review, but thought it was a cynical retread. The original movie.
I don't like it. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's this new thing. It's like, let's just, because
I
he's going to
just-
have, the thing is, it starts here.
I don't like you
and then it's
embrace
like,
AI.
he's going to have like Chat GP Chris and Chat GP Sean and Chat GP Van.
I like this.
And it'll be like
This
Bill.
is how it happens, by the
Bill
way.
in like his
So
house
this-
somewhere,
yeah.
and it'll be like,
Wait, did I-
like one of us will be like, "Oh, we can't make 12:30," and Bill's like, "Never mind, I know someone who can. Chat GP Van can do it."
Right. Starts wearing turtlenecks and talking about the new technological frontier here
Yeah.
at the Ringer.
Well, it also said Raj was super attracted to the sheriff's daughter. I don't know if that's true. From ChatGPT. If that's not true. All right, we're gonna do most rewatchable scene, which is brought to you by the Home Depot. Spread more joy with the Home Depot's giant holiday decor. You a holiday decor guy?
I am.
Make your home something people want to see again and again and again and again. At the Home Depot, there is a huge choice of lights, trees, decorations. When do you get your tree, CR?
I was gonna say, and you can
Are you like a late November guy or early December
for
guy?
my Christmas tree
Yeah.
day after Thanksgiving. Well, also for any of our aspiring Michael Myers, you can find all number of probably pitchforks,
Oh yeah,
machetes,
yeah.
chains.
Was there ever a scene where Michael Myers
Serial
or
killers
Jason
shopping at the Home
went
Depot.
in there? No, I'm serious. Where they went in there?
There
and
should have
were-
been a Michael Myers
They
scene at
should
a
have
Home
been.
Depot.
They
That
should have
would
a
been
Michael
so good.
Myers aisle at
yeah.
Home Depot. Take it or leave it. I am not being paid to make this idea.
The only person that ever did it was Denzel in The Equalizer.
That's right.
Where he would
Oh,
do that
true.
and use all the different things.
Well, he gets
That was
them
great.
in. Yeah.
Well, you can really go big with larger than life decor at the Home Depot. A tree you can put together in a few clicks, like the Grand Duchess. An 8-foot towering Santa with posable arms and a flame effect lantern, or an 8.5-foot towering reindeer with illuminated flashing bells. The Home Depot for a real blockbuster holiday season. Most rewatchable scene. The opening scene, the credits and all that stuff is just great.
Yeah,
I love it. They just
Our
did
guy
a great
Dwight,
job.
Dwight
Killed
H.
it.
Little, director of
Yeah,
this movie,
killed it.
apparently did a lot of research on like Halloween traditions and fall, autumn, harvest traditions, and just nails
Great
it.
stuff.
There's a really good YouTube series called Halloween Atmospheres, which is essentially like hour-long ASMR videos of like Halloween scenes, not Halloween the movie scenes, but like scenes
Oh, I
around
see.
like America, and it's just like this.
It's great. Reminds me of Hoosiers, but the evil version.
Yeah, Evil Hoosiers.
The next
See, if
scene,
we had done this franchise properly, we could have made Evil Hoosiers.
Evil Hoosiers would have been great.
Yeah.
See, Myers could have gone to a basketball game, just started killing people. he hates the
funny.
3-point
But it's
line.
like because he lost money on FanDuel.
To me, Hoosiers is evil.
Well, that's another
Oh,
podcast.
Right.
That's a different
Next
Cult-
scene,
Cultural.
transferring a dangerous patient for no real reason at all. We get the Halloween music here, so let's give the Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness award for best needle drop to that. But we got Pouring Rain. He's put in the back of an ambulance with 2 doctors and no chains to the bed. He's not
Yeah.
even handcuffed to the bed.
They don't give a fuck. These
Yeah.
people are dead.
They're like, "Hey, you hear he has a niece?" He's like, "Whoa."
Yeah, like, and when I'm watching that scene, I'm trying to think, well, if you've never seen it, who's gonna die
Yeah.
because of the gross negligence of these
Well,
people?
it's also strange because in that scene, this is a nitpick, but everybody seems to be referring to like his atrophied body and his lack of muscles.
you can't do anything, yeah.
Why don't they just check? I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's not like he's shriveled up underneath that sheet and then fills back out again. Like,
Just a lack of fear.
it's a weird thing where they're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, man, he's all dust and bones anyway. Let's get him out of here.
Good finger through the forehead murder.
Yep.
Really, you really have to
You got to push.
like think how strong your forehead is.
That's what I'm saying.
Keep going.
Really got to get in there. I like the scene with Jamie as the nightmare with multiple Myers.
Mhm.
Gets pulled under the bed. I was like a good pull under the bed from a horror movie.
It's also
So I'm
nice.
just
It's a
adding
nice
that.
trope in horror movies where it's like the nightmare that becomes real.
Gas station. That whole scene's great.
Mm.
Michael with the bandaged face. How do we feel about that?
I thought
Would
it
you
was
just
cool.
run the whole movie that way?
Yes, I would have.
No mask
Bandaged face Michael?
I think they could have broken with tradition there.
and just like defeat the iconography of the mask itself.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it would have worked.
It's also like there's a couple of scenes where it's like a different mask. You know, like he's got blonde hair in one scene, he's got brown hair in
Yeah.
another. It's just like give him the bandages. It would have been sick.
Michael, why now? Michael gets to drive a truck and kill some people. We get Autopilot Loomis warning the sheriff. 6-body sheriff! That's what I've seen between here and Richmond. A filling station in flames! Just really going for it. We have Myers kills braless girl in the most phallic way possible, then kills guy from Dazed and Confused.
Oh, you really jumped ahead. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
he
at
jumped
Baker's
ahead.
house. Yeah.
you missed a lot of stuff.
What did I miss? Would you go drugstore?
I think the trick-or-treating night of Jamie getting separated from the group, Rachel seeing Brady in the house with Kelly and Brady just being
Fair.
like, we're not married, you know? Like,
I love that because Rachel's going through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel walks in there. First of all,
Yeah, she's lost her babysitting person.
Yes.
lost her. She had a
She's lost 8 kids.
her and Brady had a romantic night planned. It's not happening now. It all went to shit.
What's going to be that romantic for Brady? It sounds like.
Well, Rachel was like,
let's
we're
make
gonna-
out and
I
maybe
can't wait
can
to get
feel over your
engaged.
sweater.
Yeah.
No, Brady
Yeah.
was trying to fuck.
Yeah. Well, she didn't realize that.
No, I don't know.
You know who realized that?
Brady.
Kelly.
The cops.
Kelly,
What was her
yeah.
shirt?
Yeah.
Cops don't have
And it's
a.
so funny that Brady's backup is
Cops do it by the book.
cops do it by the book.
She's like, I know what this guy
Also,
wants.
honestly, Brady like portraits and courage to be like, who am I gonna fuck? The cop's daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like not even. You're really gambling with something
But
serious.
this was
there.
a very important theme in 80s, late 80s, early 90s culture was like the
Fucking
girl
the
who wouldn't give it
authority.
up to the boyfriend
Yeah.
and the other girl who was going to take advantage of this immediately.
Yes.
Mhm.
This was in TV shows, movies galore.
Yeah, and Rachel's only revenge is to spill a cup of Folgers on her.
She throws a coffee. She ruins the
She ruins a great t-shirt.
a great
Yeah. But honestly, to that point, Kelly knows what's going on. Like Michael Myers is on his way. She should put some pants on.
Yeah.
Kelly's dad is so protective.
Yeah.
He's so protective, right? Don't touch my daughter. Don't grope my daughter. Everybody is
Don't
around.
give my daughter a bra.
Yeah.
Right. Your daughter's braless in a t-shirt, no pants on.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad. Hi, Sergeant McFluffy. Like nobody cares. Like make her put something on.
Well, I like that he fights back against Myers, Don Dawson.
Yeah, he
I
gives it
like
his
when he
best shot.
spits on him right before his head gets fucking squished.
It's kind of like a
great stuff.
Gardner Minshew just going out there
Yeah.
and gaming.
Just-
You know you're outmatched, but you're gonna give it
Great
your
job by
best.
him.
He's redeeming himself because he's been a douchebag the entire movie.
Yeah.
Tries to shoot the door. It's metal. Like,
Right.
what does that mean? We're locked inside. Doesn't
Yeah.
reload the gun. Stupid. But he
Dumbass.
goes out on his shield.
The roof battle's really fun.
Yeah,
I love that. That's my favorite part. That's
Yeah.
my most rewatchable scene.
I just wrote down Myers kills everyone in the truck, then tries to crash the truck, then gets hit by the truck,
and then falls down a mine shaft.
then
right?
falls into basically hell.
Yeah,
And then the shock ending. No! No!
incredible
Loomis.
ending.
Did Pleasence, was that his Oscar clip, you think?
I think so. That was his.
And Donald Pleasence for Halloween 4. No!
Question.
So your favorite's the roof?
My favorite's the roof. If he doesn't get interfered with right there, does he shoot the child?
I think he does.
I think he's
Yeah,
seen too
because he's
much.
convinced. I mean,
How
like
about
he's
this?
just like,
Right move. Take that kid down.
yeah.
No jury would convict him.
No, Jerry, there's
He's
nobody
been
left.
here before.
There's no more peers. There's like 5 people left in Haddonfield by this point.
Yeah. What do you have for favorite scene?
I'll go with the trick-or-treating night just to mix it up because I really like that atmospherically. It's also like Rachel losing all those kids and having to run around those dark houses looking for them.
I really like the gas station part. I think that's my favorite. Anyway.
What is the relationship, real quick, between Loomis and Myers? Loomis,
Well, he was his doctor in
He was-
I know
Halloween
he's
1.
his
Treating him.
doctor. I know, but
There's good deleted scenes in Halloween 1 where he goes in and sees him as a 6. He's like, "You fooled them all, Michael."
he
that
won't
should've
kill.
been
He
in the
won't
movie.
kill Loomis though, right?
Well,
I mean, he tries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he would take
Loomis
him
is
down.
like,
I thought he had a chance to get
Loomis
Loomis
always has a gun.
yeah.
at the gas station, and he
That's true. Loomis is always packing. One thing, he doesn't have any Valium. He doesn't have any needles or anything like
He
that.
always has a
He's always
crazy
got a
overcoat
Beretta.
on.
You
Yeah.
know, like,
Overcoat and a gun. All right. What's the most 1988 thing about this movie? I will give you the gas station pumps, the cash registers, vigilante mobs, no cell phones, or everything that happens with the sheriff's daughter.
I think it's probably the sheriff's daughter.
Okay. Well, that leads me to 2 new categories.
Oh my gosh.
Well, one's an old one, the Jamie Lee Curtis Unnecessary Nudity Award, which she wins for that.
Yeah.
But a new category, so honored to be here for this, the Van Lathan Naughty White Girl Hall of Fame.
Yeah, she's in.
Oh, she's in. Okay.
I like her.
I didn't know if I needed to make the case.
So
but
can I ask you a question? Is nudity ever unnecessary?
Well,
Yeah,
it depends
I think
on the.
so.
Yeah, is
I
it shoehorned in for the reasons of
You get
like,
a lot
we need a
of
nude
you get a
scene?
lot of like, especially in the 80s, I think unnecessary. Like you didn't need the shower.
It was part of.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, did you put the nude sit in? Yeah. It's like the 20th scene.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to check.
Vacation, the vacation one. I feel
Yeah,
like
when she's showering.
What is the point
So
of that?
this is where I'm gonna
I mean, I
push
know
back.
the point of that,
I'm
but
gonna push back. Okay.
okay.
Is nudity entertaining?
I think for the audience of this movie, it's one of
Just-
the
I didn't
components they
ask you-
needed.
I didn't ask for a Senate subcommittee. Is nudity entertaining?
Entertaining, I don't know if that's the word I would use. Is it interesting?
Answer.
So if interesting equals entertaining, you would say yes.
Then therefore, it is necessary.
Okay. Because
What
we
is-
must be entertained.
I think for this movie,
That's
it's
why we're
necessary.
watching a movie, baby.
Yeah.
We're watching a movie
Yeah.
to be entertained. And to be honest with you, I think particularly in a horror movie, maybe you have a point with the comedy, but particularly in a horror movie, they need to change your emotion.
Yeah.
They want to keep inciting you, right? They want to keep inciting you. They want you to always be on edge, but then they need to change your emotion. So they need to bring out a little horny, lower your defenses. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh baby, oh daddy.
Yeah.
And then they do that, and then boom, the kill comes right back. I think it's a useful thing to do, particularly in a horror movie.
It's important to understand the context that in 1988, internet pornography was not invented. The the mass distribution.
Playboy,
Yeah.
scrambled cable
So
where you
this
could see a
was
nipple for
essentially
2
like
seconds.
if you were a young boy, like this was like
I would say if you're an adult.
yeah.
But this woman,
you Bill Simmons and Jeff Gallo.
I
calling
wasn't
each
an
other.
adult yet, but it was like, hey, we're going to have a nude scene in this movie yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, here we are.
I looked her up. Went on to marry Lorenzo Lamas.
Yes.
And she
No,
was,
no, that's not true. She starred on Renegade with Lorenzo Lamas and got fired after making derogatory comments about Lamas's wife. in an
Wait,
interview.
she never married Lorenzo
No,
Lamas?
I think she was married to him on the show.
Oh,
She's been in a
This
couple
is how
erotic.
this is how misinformation gets spread.
She might have dabbled in an erotic thriller and a 80s spring break comedy or
I can
two.
imagine.
hard
Yeah.
bodies.
She looks like she's 30 in the movie. Her name's Kathleen Kinmont. She's, first of all, one of the better horror movie characters because the moment you see her, you're like, oh my
At the
God.
discount mart, you're
Here
just
we
like,
go.
and
Love
it's like that.
triangle
Her
time.
that's her like full time job. I think she's out of high school by that point.
Oh, is that true? So
I don't
she's
think
older?
she's in school with them.
Because they do this in Halloween 1, right? It's like Jamie Lee Curtis has these two friends. Both of them are sexually active. They just want to like fuck their boyfriends.
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis's character is like the virginal and sexually frustrated one.
Mhm.
And then those two die. And Jamie Lee Curtis has that whole thing. She keeps dropping the knife. She's basically doing a little cat and mouse game with Michael because they're both sexually frustrated.
Yeah.
This movie, they're like, fuck it. Let's take this to another level. This
This is more like a Friday the 13th.
this lady does not wear a bra for maybe 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And she's in a Cops Do It by the Book t-shirt. And she has this quote to Rachel as they have a little fight in the kitchen. Wise up to what men want, Rachel. Or maybe Brady won't be the last man you lose to another woman.
Ooh, shit.
Fucking saucy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She gets killed 10 minutes later.
She also answers the door on Trick or Treat in that outfit too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
no pants, just a t-shirt.
She's in seduce Brady mode for the entire thing because I could see why she's wearing it. You know, it's akin to the whipped cream bikini varsity blues situation. She wants Brady to be all whatever.
Right. It's the Ali Larter
But like, what
character.
has Brady got going? He's working at the discount mart. Like, is he supposed to be the quarterback?
He's got
Like,
either that or he has Rachel, who's cute, but is wearing like a heavy sweater and
eating a bagel. Yeah.
and just doesn't seem that interested.
She
in,
is, but she's like slathering.
Rachel's like, hey, their
Shame
parents
on
are their parents are going to be gone for 90 minutes. We
Yeah.
could probably use that. She's doing none of that. This other girl's like, yo, Brady,
yeah.
want to help me trick or treat later?
My dad's the only cop left.
Yeah.
House is mine.
Want to do some trick or treating with me later, and then we'll lock the door and shut the lights off.
Yeah.
What stage's the best? So she's in the Hall of Fame.
I liked her.
Okay. Do you want to keep the Van Lathan Naughty White Girl Hall of Fame going for
Of
future
course. Why
rewatchables?
not?
I figured you would. What stage's the best? Vigilante mobs. Mention them earlier.
I have the town turning on itself, but that's a really good little moment when he's like, when Loomis basically starts the lynch mob on purpose, and
Yeah.
Meeker's like, "Why did you do that?" And he's like, "Because like you don't have any cops left."
Yeah. Smart. Loomis, thinking ahead.
It's just funny. That's so funny. The moment I saw all the white guys in the lynch mob, I went, I don't like that.
I wasn't saying I like it. I'm saying as a plot device, it's cool.
It
Killer
is
Lynch
because
Mob.
no, it is because like
And then they kill Ted.
Right, they get Ted. I thought, you know what? Those guys were probably sitting
They could have
around.
thrown one black guy in the lynch mob.
Just to offset it a little
Could
bit.
have one in there.
They throw one black guy in a lynch mob. The lynch mob would have a different target. They would, they'd be going for him.
Are there any black people in Haddonfield?
No.
Have they ever?
No.
Has Michael Myers? Oh yeah, he killed black people later on. But for a while, Michael Myers, he hadn't killed any black people.
I don't think there were
He
black
was a
people in that
single-issue
town.
voter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I liked, I have a critique of this, but I like the idea that these guys just got riled up by the news and that
Probably
they were
some drinks too.
and some bush lights.
You know what it does? It deepens the whole lore,
Uh-huh.
like what you were saying, because they know it can't happen again. They're older. They get right to work.
In the David Gordon Green trilogy, there's like a whole the town basically turns into Jan 6 or something like that. Like it's like they all go crazy because of Michael.
They got like a bunch of guns and all kinds of crazy shit.
What's age the best horror movie set in autumn? It's The Little Girl, played by Danielle Harris.
Mhm.
Really great little girl horror movie performance.
What
liked
an
it.
amazing! I mean, if yes.
I like Loomis wading into the water under a bridge to see if Michael was in there.
Dude, but all like the
And then hitchhiking right after with a wet
Get on the
outfit.
road.
the mist blowing on that water, it's so
Yeah.
creepy. And Hoffman's like, he's dead, you
Bro,
know?
I
Loomis
forgot.
like, I want to see.
I forgot to mention the hitchhiking scene, which is fucking hilarious. Bro.
Yeah.
The kids, come on, old man, come on.
Oh, and they fuck with him. I have that for What's Age the Best. Little kids being crazy super mean because we have those kids, the
And
high
the
school
little
kids.
grade school kids.
Yeah, Jamie's an orphan. Jamie's an orphan.
People think phones have made people cruel. They've always
Yeah.
been cruel. Yeah.
Yeah, they will always go for it in the horror movies with little kids.
Yeah.
They're like, what's the meanest thing we can have them? What's age the best? I also have this in What's Age the Worst? Myers' irrational hatred of dogs.
Sunday
Took
here.
down a dog
Yeah.
in 1, took down a dog in 4. Nice golden retriever.
I think he lets the Doberman live in 5. He lets
Does he?
Max live, yeah.
As soon as
That's like some sort of German thing.
when you see Sunday, it like really
It's
it
tough,
was the
man.
toughest kill because with Sunday is like a beautiful, amazing little pup that's
Yeah.
like all over the bed. Everybody, well, you know Sunday's fucked though from the
I
beginning.
mean, like that golden retriever is gonna fuck with him. I
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't like that by Myers. The lesson of 80s horror movies: if you don't take care of your boyfriend, some other woman will, and then be brutally murdered. And about 9 minutes later, that was how many movies?
All
80?
of them.
Yeah.
all of
That's
them.
like that's the entire Friday the 13th ethos is that all the girls
Yeah.
who are loose go first.
Score by Alan Howarth.
Yeah, and the theme is by Carpenter though.
But I like in the Halloween movies where they title the songs.
Yeah.
So in this one, there's songs called Jamie's Nightmare, Return to the Shape, and Police Station.
What's the song title for the Kelly and Brady sex scene?
I don't know. I didn't look that up. Any other What's Age the Best?
No, not really.
You got it all, but I would just add we are obviously having a lot of laughs. Like the sense of humor of this movie is pretty great.
The Fortune 3 clap award for most giftable moment is the no. Great shot, Gordo. Myers collapsing in the sinkhole.
I actually have
the beginning.
it's an homage to Night of the Hunter when the guy's sitting in the rocking chair with the
I
shotgun.
love that.
And then it's Rachel, and then Rachel moves out of the way, and Michael's in deep focus in the background. It's a really cool little shot.
Like when he is. There's one where I think that's the same one where she's running away and then he's coming like on the side of the building or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it starts with the sheriff's deputy is into the rocking chair, and he's like, "Don't worry, state police will be here soon."
Yeah.
That's right out of Night of the Hunter.
I don't know if I'd feel totally protected with the guy just rocking in a rocking chair.
I mean,
Don't worry.
obviously.
Gonna stay here. Den of Thieves Benny Hanna Award, scene stealing location. I really like the abandoned gas stations just in general in horror movies.
There's also a great moment because that place has a bar attached to it, and a bunch of pictures of Abe Lincoln, just in case we forgot it's Illinois.
Yeah.
You know,
if there is a abandoned or like downtrodden asylum in a horror movie, that's always my spot.
You like going down.
I like going.
we
into,
should start investing in abandoned gas stations and asylums and see what we can do with that. Whether it's just like we start showing Halloween movies there, drive-ins,
getting people
soup them up, bring back like the drive-in.
It's a good YouTube series.
Yeah.
do Halloween tours, haunted house situations there in old abandoned. But you know what'll happen? We'll get fucked up. it'll turn into an actual horror movie.
Big Kahuna Burger, where best use of food or drink. So the sheriff's daughter, before she meets her demise, she just makes some coffee for everyone. Yeah, she has these 6 giant cups of coffee. Yeah. Like, how much coffee did she make?
Did you ever used to drink instant?
No.
Can you remember ever having it?
No.
I had it when I first started drinking coffee. I would be like when I first moved out of my parents' house and I was in Boston, I would make instant coffee because I was like,
my family always cared about coffee in the right way.
I
was just saying, it's always an important thing.
Like you guys fucking
important thing.
Vacation in Guatemala.
My mom always cared about coffee. I grew up a family that prioritized coffee.
That's a line you refuse to cross right there.
I just always had good coffee in my life. I'm not going to apologize.
There was a whole era to me where that was kind of the norm. Yeah. To where I almost only saw
coffee wasn't a thing. Going to the coffee shop was not a thing.
Did you see how much coffee she had, though? It's like she had 6, they looked like 16-ounce cups.
I know.
I'm telling you, I'm going to go galaxy brain here, way too deep take. When they do little shit like that, they're like making a little statement. She's a traditional.
She's a trad wife.
Show up.
Take care of her, man.
Rachel is like, I don't want to, I want to be liberated and all of that type of stuff. One dies, one lives. Like they're making a statement. Because she makes all of that coffee on reflex.
Way more fun hang than Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel had a lot going on.
Yeah, I just would rather, should I just be with this lady, the sheriff's daughter, who's a little fun, or this other lady who I think
Rachel
never get
probably
her
had
alone.
A little bit going on upstairs. Like,
no, but I'm saying
more
like
of an interior life.
And her
Kelly.
sister is Michael Myers' niece.
Well, Brady doesn't even know who the fuck Michael Myers is.
I guess. All right, Butch's girlfriend award, weak link of the film. I'll go last if you guys want to go ahead of me. I feel really strongly about one thing.
I have one.
Okay.
We talked about this on Silence of the Lambs about what's the doctor at the asylum in Silence of the Lambs? What's his name? Anthony Held's character. Yeah. And this is the mayor from Jaws, but it's like when there's a villain that's more villainous than the villain, and they start this movie with Dr. Hoffman, who's just like a giant dick to Loomis, who's freeing Michael Myers, who doesn't think he has any muscle tone.
He's got an attitude about it.
And is like, he's dead, don't worry about it. And then he just leaves the movie.
Yeah.
So I really like that performance in that character. I just hate that they abandoned it midway through.
Would have brought it back.
Max Schreck from Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta go with Loomis, man. Loomis fucking pisses me off. I hate Loomis. I hate him. Like, to me, Loomis like makes me sick. Loomis is useless. he does. Like, Loomis he's supposed to be this harbinger, but after a while, like, I blame Loomis for everything that's happening.
I had him for the Vincent Chase Award for, are we sure this character was actually good at his job? Bad psychiatrist, let Loomis go multiple times, didn't warn people correctly.
Right.
Halloween 1 just fucks up over and over again. He's next to the car, doesn't even realize it for 5 hours. My Butch's girlfriend award, I just don't think Myers, even though they have him doing athletic stuff, I don't think the actor who played the Shape, first of all, he's wearing like padding. He's wearing like these fucking shoulder pads. And he's like kind of doing this. I didn't feel like he was athletic enough. Like, they should have had like, I don't know, pick any good athlete from the late 80s playing the Shape. Pick somebody. OJ would have been available. This is pre whatever, but somebody with some bulk and some size who could move. This guy, if you really watch carefully, he's like a fucking mummy.
Oh shit! Later on, they got the dude that played Sabretooth.
Bothers me.
The fucking the professional wrestler. I can't remember his name now. He played him for a little while because he could do all this stuff. Tyler Mane.
Oh, he played Michael in that Rob Zombie movies or in the David Gordon?
I can't remember which one it was, but I remember it was a big deal that he played him for a second.
What's age the worst? The Mask is the most polarizing thing about this movie. It's a lot of the discourse. It's my buddy Jeff's biggest issue with the movie. He can't believe how bad The Mask is. And there's a whole story when they made The Mask for Halloween 1. It was a Shatner mask.
Yeah.
They doctored it. They threw it out after. They tried to recreate it for 2. There was no way to find it. So then they ended up with the fucking stupid mask they had for this movie, which they changed after the schoolhouse scene, which I think was the first one they shot. He's got like blonde hair. He looks like, I don't even know what,
Phil
but
Collins.
They keep that in for some reason. People really hate The Mask. I am not a fan.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the fact that it changes a couple of times in the movie. And so generally,
they just should have kept him bandaged. I think that was the mistake. But
can I ask you whether you think this is aged the worst or not? Is the somewhat convoluted idea that Laurie Strode, who has died between 2 and 4, has a daughter who's not that much, a young daughter. Like she has a daughter young.
Yeah, she went from not having sex to becomes like a super young
But
mom.
like, would it have made just more sense if he had just come back and there was no like family connection? It was just like he's terrorizing the town. Because there are other like ideas for this movie floating around that I think the Strode family connection's a little.
So in the research of this, when they greenlit it, the writer's strike was about to happen, and the guy had like 13 days to pitch the story and then write it. And I don't think he was expecting 36 years later a podcast picking it apart. I don't know if there's a ton of thought. I think he was like, hey, so I thought maybe Laurie had a daughter. They were like, all right, done, go.
How many people
3
out
more
there
scenes.
do you think feel that same way about podcasts? Where they're like, you know what, man, I was just trying to make my day.
Yeah,
What
dude,
the
I was
fuck?
fucking
I was just at a coffee shop for 3 straight days.
I had 10 days to
George
pound
Lucas
this shit
is
out.
I had this
I don't
idea
know,
for a
like-
niece.
Because the movie comes out and it's profitable, so it's a win. He's like, fuck, I fucking pulled that off.
Yeah, I wish I had more time.
And then later on, you guys come around and you
The
fucked up
Strode
the
family.
But look,
Yeah.
interesting though, like you couldn't have the face of innocence. They didn't go. It's interesting to go with a kid in that situation to kind of draw
Little
people
girl,
back in.
it was a good zag.
But her not being in the movie is by far the thing that's aged the worst because the character comes back to a new generation of Halloween fans to take the franchise back.
The reason she didn't come back is because Jamie Lee was a
big
super
star.
famous actress
Yeah.
at that
Yeah.
point. It was
Big
like,
star.
I'm good.
Another age the worst for me, a little, also maybe a nitpick, but it's basically some people obviously know who Michael Myers is. Like those kids dress up as Michael Myers to like scare Rachel and Jamie, but then Brady doesn't know who Michael Myers is. And they're like, "Oh, you remember 10 years ago?" And he's like, "No, like, what are you talking about?"
I didn't like that either.
So it's like Michael Myers is either
I
like
think he was so horny he didn't remember what happened 5
Brady
minutes
couldn't
ago.
think straight.
Yeah,
Brady
he was about
trying
to
to line
bust.
up his hoes.
Yeah.
like he wasn't thinking at all about that. Brady had a backup plan.
They were like, Brady, what'd you think of the football game yesterday? He's like, I don't know, man. I just trying to get alone with the sheriff's daughter. That's all I'm thinking about. I have a couple. How do they not have a scene where Myers kills one of the Myers impersonators? It's like a fucking no-brainer.
That would have made it all worth it.
Just kill like 3 of them in a row.
Yeah.
Blonde wig Myers in the schoolhouse, ridiculous. Rachel takes the kids trick-or-treating and loses all 8 kids. You know how hard that is? You're going from house to house. Like, what were they? Like, fucking getting in a van together? Like, she's talking to Don
makes it
Dawson
seem like
for
they've
5
gotten
seconds.
lost in the city from inception.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
She also's not thinking straight.
No.
Right. Because she's just found out Brady's
He's
just like all the other guys.
All right, this is my big one. We rarely do this for the rewatchables, but I'm going to have to do this with whatever my camera is. So Loomis's scars. We start out with this. So he blew up at the end of Halloween 2. And it's like a zit on the left there.
like a burn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna see
almost
this in
looks
my
like an
nightmares.
ear with a zit. So they start out there. I'm just doing this chronologically in the movie. So we start out with this. Then we go here and the zit's gone. Like, did he pop it? Now it's like more of like a
Scar tissue.
It looks like an omelet.
or a cauliflower
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So that's how we are in that scene.
Oh wow.
Then it's different again.
it's a dent there.
So the makeup
And there's a
artist
scar
is
on the head
obviously
as
not
well.
taking Polaroids after every day of shooting.
This is another example of people not anticipating us doing a podcast about this.
They're like, Annie, the makeup artist. Like, Annie, did you take Polaroids after day 3? She's like, oh shit.
Right.
So they're just fucking winging it. Then we go back.
Zit's back.
Now
Oh,
the
this guy-
zit's
this is kinda
back.
back.
So did Pleasence go back? It's like, I really like the zit.
You know
Well,
what?
they don't
They
shoot
don't
these
shoot
things
these in
chronological.
chronological order,
Yeah,
so they
so they
probably
probably
shoot
shot that when he
at
had
the same time.
Then it's like it got better. Like he took
Yeah.
some medication during Halloween night somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally near the end of the movie, he must have yelled at somebody. And now it's just kind of
Cleared up.
It's cleared up a lot.
Yeah.
This is all in the course of one day in Halloween 4.
Well, maybe it's his connection to Michael heals him. You know,
The scar by I don't know why. She's at some point.
this is why you're the best. That kind of
you
eye
made
for
a
detail.
decision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made a decision with the zit scar. Like you got to just stay with it. You can't get rid of the zit. Body count, by the way, 19 for this movie, if you include the dog.
More than the combined total of the first two.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's all that many kills.
Yeah.
He's killing a lot of people, but it doesn't feel like it's all that many kills.
Part of it is
Myers
also we
impersonators.
don't get the police station kills.
Oh,
We only see the aftermath.
after he comes in there.
Would you have liked it more if he didn't kill the sheriff's daughter?
Yes.
He just kind of chained her up.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm keeping her around. She looks great.
What's your favorite kill in this?
I like the finger through the forehead's great, and I like when he kills Don Dawson.
Don Dawson crushes his jaw, right?
Anytime the killer kills someone with their bare hands.
Yeah, so I was
Those are
gonna.
the
My
best kills.
favorite is the guy who's driving the truck to get away, and Michael comes and just like tears his face off and then throws him out of the truck.
It's pretty good because you have the leverage. You're on top of the
And
car.
I think they
Always
spent a
impressive.
lot of the special effects budget on that kill.
Yeah. The Ruffalo Hannah Rubinek Partridge overacting award. It has to go to Dr. Loomis, but you also have the crazy religious guy who picks him up hitchhiking. Who's like on a fucking
that
bender.
guy's creepy. I like that. Apparently, he didn't know his lines, and Dwight Little had to keep being like, "This is the." Like,
So would you give it to that guy? I think I would.
He's in another movie. He probably is the one that's like throwing 150 every single time he talks.
Yeah, what's that category we used to have for the guy who's in a different movie? It was what was the Judd Nelson? For that what was that movie called?
well, I would say
New Jack City.
honestly,
Yeah.
I'd say Kelly is in a different movie.
Who?
In this movie, Kelly is
sheriff's
in a
daughter.
different movie. Then like that's a
How dare you?
sex comedy, and everybody else is like Michael Myers.
Yeah,
is
she's
around.
in like a Skinamax movie.
Like the word is out. Her dad is the sheriff. She would know that Michael Myers is terrorizing the town, and she's like, "No, it's Bone Town tonight."
yeah.
In fact, Michael Myers creates an opportunity
Well,
for me to have the house to
that's
myself
why her
and
and
fuck
Brady-
in the living room in front of the fire while my
Yeah.
dad
Hold on.
single-handedly
Hey,
is
wait.
protecting us.
But this is another reason why I like her. She asked Brady,
Yeah.
Let's
"Do
go
you want-
upstairs.
Let's go upstairs." Brady was like, "It goes down right here, girl."
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the fireplace.
The fireplace. Brady was trying to set some ambiance.
Brady's like, listen, I'm not going to last long.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to
I
get
got
up.
80 seconds.
I'm
Let's
a
just
kid.
do
Makes no
it
sense
here.
to get up and go way up there.
Was there a better title for this movie? Halloween 4, Back for More Cash?
I had Halloween 10 years later. Probably not better than Halloween for the Return of Michael Myers, but I think it's in
The
there.
Can You Dig It award for most memorable quote? Wise up to what men want, Rachel, or maybe Brady won't be the last man you lose to another woman should be in a high school yearbook.
That is the only memorable quote almost in the whole movie.
It's fucking amazing. Okay.
My second place for best quote was the guy working at the power station when he sees Michael Myers and says, "Hey, you, this is city property. No trespassing. What are you, deaf? Don't try that Halloween shit with me." And then Michael throws him up in the air and he lands on every like
Except how
transisting.
it shuts down all the power in the town.
And he's like, "Oh!" For like 40 seconds. It's so cool.
He gets wise like at the last minute.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit. Maybe I
the
shouldn't have
6'5" guy with the mask,
Right.
and he's like,
Maybe I
"Get
shouldn't
off
fuck with
of
this
city
guy."
property."
Yeah, Myers, who hasn't lived there since he was 6, somehow knows where the cemetery
And
is,
where the power
where
station
the power
is.
station is,
Yeah.
where the police station is. He can just navigate everywhere. All right, the CR thinks Luke Wilson could have been Harrison Ford. Hottest take award. You have one, Van, or no?
Myers is the hero of this movie.
Okay.
I theorize that Michael Myers is actually a natural force. He is like, he exists in nature. He comes from nature and he's there to enforce natural selection. So the people that die in this movie are so fucking stupid. Like all of them.
Yes.
They're so dumb.
Yeah.
They make the dumbest mistakes. He moves at the speed of a sloth.
Yeah.
But he outsmarts them still.
Yeah.
And so Michael Myers, actually, the earth was like, you know what? There's too many people on there. We need to create a force to cull the people who are too dumb to go on.
Darwin theory.
Darwin theory. And that Michael Myers actually is the hero of this movie. And if you get killed by him, you deserved it.
Strong start for hottest take.
If this had been the last Halloween movie, it would have been the second best one.
Oh, shit.
I think in the long scheme of things and the long tail,
I agree with this.
you're like, oh, okay, 2's cool. People,
This is better than 2. I'm with you.
but
I
people
agree.
like 3. 2 is actually like kind of wonky in places. Like
2 is Friday the 13th
Yeah.
for the last half hour.
the idea that he passes it on And if I just gave you the bare bones of this plot of what happens in like Haddonfield 10 years later, and then Michael at the end when he gets killed because he touches Jamie, passes the shape on, and she then kills her stepmother and like keeps this perpetual that's awesome. That would have been like, people would have been like, what?
Question for you.
But the fact that like they basically undo that in the first 5 minutes of 5, where they're like, actually, the mom's okay. It's cool. She's in Barbados. Like, it sucks. But if this had been the last one, this would have been the second best Halloween movie.
Do you think they knew whether or not they wanted Michael Myers to come back? I think
everybody who they engaged to creatively come up with new ideas for the franchise was like, well, what if we did this? What if we tried that? What if we tried that? And they always entertained it. And then eventually they would get back to like whatever focus group idea that was like, people who are fucking paying $10 to go see this movie do not want to not see Michael Myers. We saw that with Halloween 3, with Season of the Witch. Like, people want to see Halloween 3.
I really like the first 5 minutes of Halloween 2.
You like the first 5 minutes?
I like when he's chasing him through the houses, and I like when he goes, "You don't know what death is," to the sheriff. It's solid. My hottest take. So Donald Pleasence, famous alcohol problems with him. Like, famous. I can give you some half-assed internet research. So here's some Donald Pleasence stuff for you. Married 4 times, had 5 daughters. Allegedly drank 2 bottles of wine before filming a big scene in Halloween 1, where he talked to the sheriff outside. 2 bottles of wine.
Jesus.
In the SNL oral history book, David Sheffield, who was a writer on the show in the 80s, said, there was one host who came on. He was drunk and senile. He kept going, "Where's Gilda? When's Gilda showing up?" He was so arrogant. He basically just did a monologue. Donald Pleasence. That's who that was. So, famous drinker guy. I think Halloween 4, my hottest take, should have leaned into this.
Oh, Loomis is like an alcoholic.
Loomis is an alcoholic. Actually had him boozing during the movie, and like he's kind of come in as like boozing deranged Dr. Loomis. You don't understand what death is.
Nobody believes him.
And he's got like
that's kind of like
Jack
what
Daniels.
The preacher character is.
Yeah.
Like if Loomis had been the preacher and Loomis is just like driving around in circles looking for Armageddon, that would have been pretty cool.
He's basically an alcoholic anyway, the way he behaves in this. Like he's just kind of wandering and
puts
deranged.
A different spin on him always packing too, where he's just like, he's just quick to pull this gun out.
Maybe they shun Loomis because he can't do anything with Michael Myers. He begrudgingly gets back into the story, but he's always on the sauce. That's more interesting.
He lost his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's become an alcoholic because all these people died on his watch.
Maybe he's obsessed now. He's coming back. He's always drinking.
Yeah, I don't think Loomis should have been employed in Halloween 4. I think he should have been disgraced, whatever, burned in the fire, and now just has a drinking problem and is still obsessed with the case. Would have been better. Casting what ifs. John Carpenter was approached to write and direct. Worked on a script with somebody else. Got Joe Dante attached to direct. Mustafa Akkad rejected it.
Yeah.
And Carpenter
was
said,
like, buy me out.
I'm done.
Yeah.
That's Carpenter what I was and Deborah Hill, the producer, were like, I'm out.
I'm doing that December 31st to you if we don't do Sicario by then.
You're like, I'm
buy
out.
Me out.
Pay me out. So they sold their ownership rights back to Mustafa Akkad. Mm-hmm. And they were done from that point on.
Carpenter was cooking at that time, too. It's a good time for Carpenter.
So I wonder, you think they were bought out or you think they kept points?
I think he's been brought back into the project since then. I think he got a lot of. I think he got dapped up with the David Gordon Green movies. I don't know if he did with Rob Zombie.
I have no clue.
So they found this writer, Alan B. McElroy, and he had 11 days to come up with the idea and write the entire script before the writer's strike started. Yeah, start to finish, 11 days.
Oh yeah, I give him a lot of credit.
He's like, niece. Melissa Joan Hart auditioned for the little girl, and then Rebecca Schaefer auditioned for the main part, and it went to Ellie Cornell, who picked this movie over Nightmare 4.
Yeah.
She then became a very recognizable face.
Ellie Cornell?
The little girl that's in this?
Oh, yeah. Danielle Harris is a Scream Queen.
Yeah, she's in a lot. The Van Lathan Award, did this movie need more black people?
Hell no.
Okay.
Because we getting out of the town.
You're out. The Michael's
If you
Michael's
could have
out?
a black person, what job would they have? What character would they play?
They would, that's a great question. Like in this movie, they would like play the people, like you'd see like a black family leaving Haddonfield at the beginning. And like
driving past as Michael's driving past.
Yeah. It's like, hey, just letting you guys know something bad's gonna happen there. We're moving on. We're headed to Chicago. Yeah, South Side. Peace. Gone. But I couldn't see us living in Haddonfield. It's a tough life.
That'd be a fun like scene just crammed in out of nowhere, just as black family leaving.
We're out of here.
In
And
11
then, like,
days, they
and
could have
then
done it.
You look at them and like, where are they going? And then you make the decision to go yourself. You
Right.
fucked up.
Best that guy award, the doctor at the beginning that Chris mentioned, who's the real
Dr.
villain of this.
Hoffman.
Yeah. He was one of the Malachi brothers in Happy Days, which was the most famous Happy Days episode. But he was also, more importantly, Drago's trainer in Rocky IV. Whatever he hits, he destroys.
I think Bo Star is that guy.
Over Michael Pataki?
Yeah, I think Bo Star, the
Sheriff?
Sheriff Meeker is definitely like,
All right,
he's
that
that guy, man.
Does Brady count as that guy or no?
That's that guy for us.
Yeah, he's Don Dawson.
But he actually didn't really do much besides Dazed and Confused.
I just see
It's
him,
crazy.
I think he's Don Dawson.
He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a
and he was in like a couple episodes of NYPD Blue or something, but like he hasn't really done that much in the last 20 years.
But you gotta have consistent guy energy.
Yeah.
Recasting couch director City.
Wait, did we do Dion?
Oh, Dion. Sorry. Dion Waiter's a word.
Kinmon, right?
I have the sheriff's daughter.
Yeah. Or Richard Stay as Wade, the guy who first asks her out.
Oh, yeah.
Trying on the sunglasses and wearing the blazer in the discount mart.
He's going for it.
Yeah.
She tells him to fuck off. I'm telling you, I like her. I rip to her.
Recasting couch director City. If you were going to not have Ellie Cornell in this and pick some other more famous actress from the late 80s, early 90s, like what if I gave you Jennifer Connelly?
Sure. Is that your answer for any late 80s?
I'm just trying to think of
90s,
somebody
though?
more famous than her.
What about like Justine Bateman? She too old?
Justine,
that's a
she's
good
probably
one.
a tiny bit too old.
Really? She's playing teen roles at that point?
I thought of Jennifer Aniston too, because she was in, I think, Leprechaun.
Courtney
something
Cox.
right around there. Courtney Cox probably too old.
Really?
Or maybe not. I don't know. But it would have been cool if somebody from that era.
Sure.
Shannon Doherty.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
She may be too young.
Yeah.
This is what, 88?
Yeah.
If this was more prestigious, Winona Ryder would have been a good.
Winona Ryder.
Has Winona
Shannon
Ryder
Tatum,
ever
Heathers.
done like a straight on this type of horror movie?
Heathers was the weirdest.
Yeah.
Probably one she did.
Yeah.
Tony Romo, Chris Collinsworth, or someone else for the director's commentary.
Mm-hmm.
CR, what do you got?
Oh, Mike, they got pictures of Abe Lincoln on the wall here. One of our great presidents, also a depressive. I'm
going to run back Ryan Rucco.
Okay.
I studied some Ryan Rucco over the last few
I
days
wasn't
to get
sure if
ready
you were
for
going to
this.
bring Breen in. Yeah.
Can Michael Myers throw someone into the electrical grid and shut down power in all of Haddonfield? You bet! I like the you bet. All right, there's Rucco. Half-assed under research, they filmed in Salt Lake City instead of Pasadena. Had to import leaves and big squash for fake pumpkins. George P. Wilbur played Myers and had to wear hockey pads under the costume to make himself look more physically imposing.
Wasn't big enough. Yeah.
The one of the other scripts, I think this is the Dennis Etchison script, which is available online, had basically the stars or the heroes of the film would have been Lindsay and Tommy, who are the kids that Laurie is babysitting in one.
Yeah.
Oh, see.
And that they basically have gone through like therapy.
They call her Lindsay in the car.
Lindsay, yeah, and it's
weird.
That's basically a remnant, I think, from would we use different other people from the past in this.
It's a better movie.
But it's basically like they live across the street from each other, but aren't allowed to communicate because Lindsay's mom's really overprotective.
I mean, that's a better Halloween.
Yeah,
I
know.
He just goes back
and
to
then
kill
he
those
goes back
two.
to kill the kids.
Yeah, you're right. Ellie Cornell cut her stomach open on a large nail while sliding down the roof and lost a lot of blood.
Jesus.
The cast was really nervous about Danielle Harris, how young she was. So the Wilbur, the guy who played the Shape, would take his mask off after every scene to remind her it was just a movie.
All right.
That was nice. The Vincent drugstore, where Jamie goes to buy a costume, is seen in the 90s in a movie that we've all seen. Can you name the movie?
In the 90s, in a movie we've all seen.
What kind of movie?
Yeah, hint.
Sports movie. Little kids.
Sandlot?
Sandlot.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just knew that was going to be something different. I just knew you were about to go. The Vincent's drugstore in Salt Lake City was the scene of the classic 1961 sit-in with the NYCP.
The schoolhouse, Chris mentioned the mask with the blonde hair. then they decided that didn't work, but somehow didn't reshoot the scene where he had the blonde hair. And it's just fucking insane. But this is what was great about the 80s.
Yeah,
They're like, well, anyone notice? Probably not.
Is some guy who's making out with his girlfriend in like the second to back row of a movie theater really like, the mask work in this is just
what are
awful.
they doing? So they decided after they viewed the movie, the director and Akkad decided that the violence was too soft and they could commence with an extra day of blood filming. And
I
that
frankly
was
agree.
the thumb in the forehead kill.
Bro, I agree with it too. The movie is not at all gory.
Mustafa was pissed.
Like,
it's more like you feel the dread, but there's not that much blood.
So they filmed that and they filmed the neck twist. They added two of the craziest kills were late additions.
Some of the kills, like throwing the guy into the...
It's like a bar fight.
Yeah. It's like, there's not a lot of... You don't ever feel like, oh my God.
And we don't even really get to see like the mechanic getting killed and chained up.
Right, yeah.
It's just like what Loomis sees at the end.
Apex Mountain, probably nobody.
Cops do it by the book t-shirts.
That one definitely. Pleasence, no. Mustafa Akkad, he probably made more movies that made more money. Don Dawson, no way.
No.
Right.
Halloween, no. Serial killer movies, no. I couldn't think of
Dwight
any
Little,
of them.
Dwight H.
Cops
Little.
do it by the book t-shirts, probably the Apex Mountain.
And Kidmont.
Is it an Apex Mountain for the serial killer is back? Like he's gone for a movie.
Because we had Freddy, Jason,
but
and
by
Myers.
this point, they're 7 into Friday the 13th, so I feel like that's like now been established as
I mean, you could almost say slasher franchises maybe are back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cruz or Hanks?
As who? So I think that Cruz
remember,
or Hanks
all
could play.
ages are eligible. So
I
you
think
could have
either
Cruz
young
as Don
Cruz
Dawson.
or young Hanks could play Brady.
So can I give you old Cruz as Dr. Loomis?
Oh,
Just
bro,
cruising it up.
So interesting.
Like 73-year-old Tom Cruise being like, I watched him for 15 years.
Like going completely
Going full Cruise?
fucking,
Yeah.
I think that's the
bonkers.
answer,
It's good.
right? What do you think, Craig?
Shouldn't it be for the main character? Like it should just be who should play
Michael
Rachel,
Myers?
right?
Oh, the shape?
I guess Myers or Rachel. Like that, we should be deciding between those two
Well, it should
characters.
be-
Well,
Yeah.
it has to be a male character, though. So that's the shape, Don Dawson,
Why can't the
or
babysitter be a
Loomis.
man?
Oh, I see what you mean. Like switch it to a like male.
Like it would be Cruz or Hanks in the babysitter
Like
I'll tell you
role.
something. This is a very, very millennials, Gen Z.
I'm not
take.
saying like the gender.
No, I get it. But
You're saying gender flip it.
during
I'm just saying who cares?
during this time,
Old Cruz?
Sure.
all right, okay.
Okay, we're doing Cruz or Hanks here as an exercise.
it's fucking Halloween 4. How are we doing this?
What's happening? Can we go old Cruz?
Yeah, I like that.
Racehorse, rock band, wrestler, fantasy team name.
I think the shape.
Haddonfield something? Haddonfielders?
Oh, the Haddonfield horrors. Yeah, I like
Haddonfield horrors.
I don't know. I don't have anything. Cops do
shape?
it by the book.
Cops do it by the bookers. Picking nits. How did the kids in school know Myers was Jamie's uncle? How the fuck does that get
This
out?
is the thing. Is there's 3 different
Come on.
movies happening. There's little kids who know everything about Michael Myers.
I promise I'm keeping
and
that a
there's-
secret with
and
my
there's
adopted
Brady.
kid.
Who knows nothing?
Another thing, a lot of adoption happening in Haddonfield, but like adopting kids from 2 doors down. Lori's adopted. Jamie's
What's
adopted.
going on in Haddonfield?
Yeah. I mean, it takes a village, but
see-
still.
But see, that's the thing that's the meat left on the bone with the movie. Because you could paint the picture of Haddonfield as like a totally fucked up society and community
Yeah.
because of everything that happened and like why all of these parents might have left their kids and all that dumbass shit, but they didn't do any of that. They only had 11 days.
Would you adopt the niece of the most notorious serial killer in your town?
Unknowingly.
Blood relative?
Unknowingly.
But
they know.
They knew.
Well, then no. And then if I adopted
That's a no for me.
if I adopted her, and then I was, oh, well, we got a little bundle of joy. Come home with us and live with us. And then I found out.
That's the other thing that's really
We're going
funny
back.
is like their dinner date
going
takes up 2/3 of the movie where they're like, oh, like he has to go out to get like his promotion. So we have to take the boss out to dinner. And then they're just gone for the rest of the movie until they check in on the house and that's it.
I mean, we did this extensively in Halloween 1 when we did that pod, but in Halloween, you don't leave your house. if you have kids, trick-or-treaters are coming. Nobody's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave my house alone under the care of somebody else. Where are you going on Halloween?
You're not a big, did you ever have teen babysitters watching your kids?
Yeah, somewhat, but I don't know. I just, where are you going on Halloween?
When they would come over to check in for work, would you be watching Halloween?
Totally dodged that question.
Well, we joked in Halloween 1 about like, was there like some Haddonfield Country Club tea party or what the fuck was going on with all these people? Myers killed everyone. It's the 10-year anniversary. It's like, should we stay home, make sure nothing happens? No, let's go out with the Johnsons.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like a Tuesday night. Wouldn't Myers mask be banned in Haddonfield?
Yes, that's my point.
Yeah, why are they selling it?
It's either got to be like Scream, illegal. Like the way Ghostface has become like a phenomenon, or they're like, bury this and nobody knows about it.
Or Haddonfield, like you're saying, Haddonfield is now a tourist attraction.
Yes,
where people come there, and there's a whole Michael Myers museum. And
that almost makes more sense. They did that in a later movie, didn't they?
Play with the fact that the town is famous for it.
Yeah.
I don't like that Haddonfield, they switched the filming, which was this middle-class, middle America suburb in the first 2 movies. And now all of a sudden it's like rural farmland. We're in like the
But it is supposed to be Illinois. Like they do try to like.
It doesn't seem like Illinois though.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying I think that like the cornfields or like the farmlands are supposed to be like outside of that town.
A lot of questions about Myers' location stuff, but ends up in the same drugstore as his niece. She's trying on stuff. Like, what are the odds?
Well, I thought that was supposed to be the vision. No, when he is in the drugstore, right?
Yeah,
like because he's in the reflection after
he's actually there. Sometimes she doesn't see him, but
I don't know how he's in the reflection of the mirror, but nobody else can see him standing in the thing.
I have a lot of questions.
In 5, it is the worst. In 5, it's like Michael Myers is like, I'm just doing this visually, behind a bush. Like this,
right?
Like the entire time. You're just like, that's Michael Myers, like right there. Like that's like, what are you guys doing?
So Myers drives however many miles. In like
it's like 119 miles because it's a 4-hour drive. At one point,
and when giant Pleasence gas station truck,
like when he gets the hitchhiking, it's 120 miles,
and the truck has been stolen.
Yeah.
So you would think that somebody would be
goes right to downtown Haddonfield. Right. Parks the car and
abandons
I'm going to go right into the drugstore with my fucking bandaged face. Maybe I can go in the back and nobody will know. Like, I'm positive somebody's noticing this guy and then just kind of lurks around until he can find a mask. But then he's got the mask on. He just kind of puts it over his head.
Perfect fit.
Wouldn't you have to just unravel all the shit in your face? They just make this seem super easy. They left a lot out. Did Myers know when he threw the guy through the power grid that it would then shut down power?
I think that is his goal. I think he's gone there to disrupt power.
So then Michael Myers also knows how the electrical grid of the town works.
Yes. I mean, he's had a long time in this mental hospital to study different
we talked about
pieces
this
of infrastructure.
If he's the boogeyman, then Satan is guiding the boogeyman, right? Yeah. So Satan's telling him, go here, go
to the power
here.
station.
That's how you have to explain it to yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to find the toughest big mouth ever at the power station. And all you have to do is body slam him.
But he knows that guy's on shift.
Yeah.
Because he's staked it out.
Yeah.
So he's going to go there and it's like, this guy's going to mouth off. We're throwing this guy into the goddamn power thing.
Just the weird urgency Hoffman has of getting Myers out of the asylum in the first place. And the lack of clarity about the hierarchy of the asylum where like Loomis works there. He's like, now that I've gotten rid of Michael Myers, Loomis will either retire or die. And it's like, what do you fucking care? Like this is
so why do you hate Loomis? Like, what's the big deal? Yeah.
He like caught Michael Myers. That's like a pretty big get.
There's probably like, a couple years of meetings where every meeting Loomis is like, I told you guys I was watching him for it. And they're like, all right, man, we get it. Yeah. You fucking watched him for 15 years.
But he says something to him. He's like a federal prisoner. So he has like federal prisoner's rights. And I'm like, this is strange.
As a federal prisoner, he just killed everyone in Illinois.
Yeah. Maybe Loomis is too braggadocious about the fact that he got Michael Myers.
Yeah, he's at the bar being like, buy me a drink. I'll tell you about the time I caught the shape.
I shot him 11 times. We blew up together. Any other nitpicks?
Just Myers killing 16 people in the first 2 films, and then they send 2 middle-aged paramedics to pick him up at the asylum.
Come on, guys. Sequel, prequel, Prestige TV, all black cast, or Untouchable. They've basically done all of these except for Prestige TV. Yeah. Still sitting there. Is this movie better with Wayne Jenkins, Danny Trejo, Sam Jackson, J.T. Walsh, Byron Mayo, Harling Mays, Nell, evil laughing Ramon Raymond, Longlegs, or Philip Baker Hall?
I think that at the trick-or-treat night, when Kelly, Rachel, and Brady are having their argument, Byron Mayo waddles over with his jack-o'-lantern. He goes, Kelly, Rachel, Brady, why be at odds when we can be in a triangle? Somebody fire up some Folgers. Nothing activates the libido like fear.
It's the witching hour.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Honestly, this movie would have been better with Robert Loggia in some role. You're telling me that this Michael Myers is back?
Just one Oscar, who gets it? Probably nobody, but maybe the score.
The score is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
That song never gets old. It hits.
Probably unanswerable questions. Why didn't they just make Jamie the killer in Halloween 5? I don't have an answer. Just feel like that should have happened.
Make her character together?
Yeah, like Halloween 5 starts and
Halloween
Jamie,
5 is the little girl locked up.
and it's like, well, we have to let her out. Like she didn't know what she was doing. She was
Yeah, she
possessed,
blacked
and-
out.
Yeah.
Do you remember Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
Not really.
The movie where Freddy comes to life inside the actual movie?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's the kind of stuff to me that like I felt like they should have played around, because that's kind of like making her the killer. Because in that movie, they're doing a new Freddy movie, and then Freddy comes to life, and he's in the movie itself. It's kind of a Freddy.
And they do
movie.
that with Scream 3 basically as well.
Yeah. I don't think they were to that point yet where they could be that inventive. They just gave the people what they wanted to get them.
My unanswerable question is just like, what is Dr. Loomis's jurisdiction? You know, like he's bossing around cops, he's bossing around people at the hospital, and he's always got a sidearm, and which is not something I usually associate with my mental health professionals.
Yeah, you don't want the mental health professional to need more mental health help than the people he's helping.
And he's just got like a semi-automatic weapon in his trench coat, and it's just like, I'm here for Michael.
Mine is, it was the sheriff trying to get Brady killed.
Oh.
No.
He doesn't give him a ton of instruction before he's just like,
Brady, here's a shotgun. When you see Michael Myers, protect everyone. Brady, you know how to use a gun? Boom, boom, boom. Did he know Brady was fucking his daughter? And is he trying to get Brady killed?
I would have done that. If anyone was treating Zoe that way. Do you think when he kills Catherine Kinmont's character, with the sheriff's daughter,
the shotgun impalement?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where was do you think that was a little more graphic and they had to scale it back? Like, where do you think that shotgun went?
I think it went through her stomach. I think that happens in one of the David Gordon Green movies. They do that, and it's a little bit more graphic, but I can't remember. Like the shotgun through the stomach move.
Oh, through the stomach.
Yeah,
okay.
I think, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Next unanswerable question.
Thought we were going somewhere else there. Moving on.
Is it more fun if
cul-de-sacs in this pod, Joe, and your sexualization of a woman getting stabbed with a shotgun?
I
got it, man.
I thought he was going.
I thought.
See,
he kind of does that.
That's what he was saying.
But I think it goes through her stomach. I don't think.
Look, they don't show it.
They pretty much suggest something similar to that.
It's the late 80s.
5 with a guy putting a condom on, and then he begins his sexual congress, and Mike kills him.
Yeah,
and it's like pretty like obvious what he's done.
Have you seen Terrifier 3?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it happened.
Have you seen the Terrifier movies yet?
Too gory for me.
Okay,
as you know my stance. Would it have been more funny if this movie took place in Boston when he goes to the power grid part? You think you're better than me? Trying to tell me how to do my job?
Retainer.
Best double feature choice. Interesting question.
I would say it's really just 1 is the only narrative stuff you need to know, but 2 is good just to know why Donald Pleasence has such a fucked up face because he explodes.
I also at Halloween too.
Okay.
I go Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh.
You ever see that?
I like that movie.
Yeah.
I do too.
It's just kind of Jason and Jason.
That's like let Jason cook.
Yeah.
Just give him some toys.
It's also, it was a point where they were just like, what can we, let's put him in space. Let's put him in the city. Let's do all sorts of stuff.
You know who killed that movie? Aaron Judge. That's why he's dead.
Oh my God.
The Andy and Red Zawatney Award for what happened the next day. I'll tell you what didn't happen. They didn't find the body. Just went in that sinkhole. They were like, he's probably gone.
In 5, the first scene of 5 is like what happens next. And it's not only does he fall into the sinkhole, everything collapses on him. They also dynamite it. And he just like floats away in groundwater and like shows up
Didn't
in a
anyone see
creek.
First Blood?
Yeah.
Dynamiting a location doesn't
then
mean you killed the guy.
Jamie, it turns out she didn't kill her mom, even though it certainly seems that way in the film.
Yeah.
But just injured her. And she
Yeah.
goes to an insane asylum or like a mental institution and she's mute. So we have a very clear Zawatney here.
And Michael Myers, just before you move on, he's like Wolverine. He's got a
He goes to some dude's fish shack
Yeah.
and recuperates and then kills the guy who helps him.
Right.
They did a podcast, though. What piece of memorabilia would you want from this movie?
The guy in the fish shack was like, Michael, they're taking too many threes. They're killing the game I loved.
What piece of memorabilia would you want?
The cops do it better.
I had that as well.
Only one pick.
Coach Finstock Award, best life lesson. Don't tell everyone you adopted the town murderer's niece. I'd start there. Any other life lessons?
How about don't adopt the town murderer's niece?
Or, if you're going to, either way.
Or if you're going to adopt her, like, she should go live in a different town.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're
How
going
about
to
new name, new identity.
Right.
You're not this person's daughter.
If you're going to transfer a notorious killer based on the fact that he's been in a 10-year coma and you think he's withered away, just check the biceps. Do a little bit of a combine test on him.
Yeah.
And see, because
That's fair. Yeah, bring in a masseuse.
yeah.
Who won the movie?
The masseuse. Who won the movie? I'm gonna go Danielle Harris because I think breathes a little new life into
call.
it, and she's really good. The way it ends, you're just like, holy shit, that's a terrifying last shot
Yeah.
of her holding the scissors. So yeah, I'll go Danielle Harris.
He's probably right, but I'm going to go Michael Myers.
I had Myers as well, but I
Yeah.
like the Danielle Harris
I like
call.
that take, yeah.
Yeah, Myers starts the franchise. We make 10 of these.
Mm-hmm.
Producer Craig, not a horror movie guy. Didn't enjoy Scary Month. Can't wait to get to next week. What'd you think?
Sure. You know. Yeah.
How many Halloween movies have you seen now?
I've only seen Halloween 1, so now just 2.
Okay.
So this was a nice follow-up based on what it sounds like 2 and 3 are. That
Yeah.
this feels
Yeah.
like a natural follow-up to that. Yeah, look. The look and feel of these movies I like a lot because these feel like holiday movies to
Yeah.
me. Unlike
Yeah.
The Conjuring or Insidious or something. I'm like, this is like holiday horror, which I like. This is watchable. This is still scary in moments, but the level of kitsch, it just feels inviting. Honestly, there's a lot of parallels to like Stranger Things when I watch these movies.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
very purposely like reference some of the
Totally.
earlier
And I
Halloween
just think
movies.
that I know that Stranger Things, a lot of people that the Spielberg influence, but I also think Halloween looks a lot like the idea of like the cursed city. Haddonfield
Hawkins
versus
is
Hawkins.
Haddonfield. The
Yeah.
music is very similar. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So like,
So Stranger Things ripped off Halloween.
But
I
it
think
ripped off the genre.
Definitely.
There were many cursed cities, right? Like
I think it-
Springfield,
yeah.
like all of this.
And
yeah.
it borrows from the 80s kind of vibe.
Buffalo.
camp.
The
Yeah.
synths, the leaves blowing across the suburban streets kind
Yeah.
of thing.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I thought about this while I was watching the movie, knowing that we would be talking about it. Are you a Brady? Was that high school Craig?
Elaborate on that question.
Yeah,
So
this feels like a tough one to answer.
So I'm thinking, when I'm thinking about Brady, I'm thinking about a guy who means well, might have too much dip on his chip, caught between two ladies. And I'm like, is Craig Brady? Are you a Brady? Do you see yourself in Brady from this movie?
Are you saying did I find myself in predicaments in high school where I had to decide between
Love triangles?
two paths in life?
Two paths, two ladies.
Two paths.
loves.
Two loves.
Two loves.
But then you make the good decision in the end. Like, I could see you, because Brady's not bad. Brady makes a impetuous, youthful decision, but then at the end, Brady steps up.
Sure, there might be some parallels between Brady and I, but I'll plead the fifth.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's smart.
So you like this movie?
Yeah, these are fun. I have a good time with these. Like,
It's not as gory, too.
no, these are like easy fun. Like I said, this is holiday horror, which I think it's an inviting feel. Also, the music is just so
Really
much
good.
better than anything. I was at a bar last weekend and they remixed this song and everybody was
They
so
went
into
off.
it.
Yeah.
To me, the music that's the scariest part of the thing.
Yeah,
like
no question.
when
It's
that
like
comes
Jaws.
on, you know
That wins the movie to me I've only
music.
seen
That's
two, but
actually-
it's the music.
he's actually yeah.
All right, so Scary Month is over. What was your favorite of the 5 we did?
I think Poltergeist. I like
Oh.
Poltergeist. Again, it's you
Big
can
win for
see
you.
Yeah.
you can see why I like that in this over, Hereditary and what was the other one we did? I don't
Hereditary
remember.
is just
You
too
hated
scary.
Hereditary.
Yeah, I think that should be wiped from the internet.
We had a couple that we didn't do.
Well, we're
That I
saving
think
them.
we're
We'll
still
do
gonna do
another
it.
Scary Month. We have
Yeah.
some good ones left.
Halloween 25.
What was that one?
No, Halloween.
Oh, Halloween 2025.
2025.
Yeah,
Are we
yeah.
gonna have a palate cleanser next week? Are we gonna do like
Not really.
Shrek?
Yeah. Nothing. We have some better plans. It will not be a palate cleanser. I can't wait for your reaction next week.
Bill, thanks for having me.
CR Van, thanks very much.
Thank you, brother.
Don't forget to watch us on the Ringer Movies YouTube channel. Thanks to Craig Horlbeck for producing. See you next week.